Hello, I'm Wayne Hilborn, and there's a lot of people that think that artificial intelligence is something that can become conscious. Artificial intelligence is a misnomer. There is no intelligence in a computer program. It would make a good movie if you could get Keanu Reeves or Arnold Schwarzenegger to star in it, but a computer can never ever be sentient. This is why. Computer programs can only compare at a high rate of speed. They compare variables very fast. A computer doesn't make a dramatic pause if it's speaking through a speaker. The computer voice would in the background, the program would have a line like, let x equals 1 to 100, x equals x plus 1, if x equals 100, next x else return. And then it would go back to the beginning of that line and it would add 1 to x each time. And then if it wasn't at 100 yet, then it goes back again. And it keeps going back and it keeps looping around and looping around and looping around until it reaches 100. And then it can say the next word. It doesn't think at all. There's no thinking. A computer will never ever think of a random number between 1 and 5. Never. You know how the computers, basically the way a computer gets a random number is, in the old days they used to look at a clock. They go look at the second hands and that. They're a little more sophisticated now, but basically they have to look at something static, something that's changing in the background that's unrelated to them. So they have like random chips now that they put in, but there's no thinking involved. A computer will never think. A computer can only compare. So in a flowchart, there's decision boxes, which are the if-then statements. All computer programs are made up of two elements. There's if-then statements in any language, or there's command boxes or command parts of the program telling the program what to do. And the if-then statements are what sends you to all these different subroutines. So in a subroutine, or in a flowchart, you would have diamond boxes. And everyone knows what a flowchart is. Shouldn't be talking about computers much. And so the decision yes or no would take you to a command box or another decision box, and that's how computer programs are structured. So you would have to make a flowchart conscious before you could make a computer program conscious. You would need to make a flowchart conscious before you could make a computer program conscious, because a computer program doesn't do any thinking at all. There's no there's no command in a program that says, okay, well, think of something now. You think of what you're going to do for your move. Just think of it. There's no command to think. They did a recent survey of Sabine Hofstadter, I forget her name, but she's the kook that tried to debunk the delayed choice quantum eraser, and I think she's advocating for sentient Sabine Hofstadter and Lex. There's different people out there that are advocating AI consciousness, and they're just idiotic. It's idiot. You'd be an idiot to think that a computer can do anything other than compare. Now the neural networks that they're talking about, made up of computer programs and that, even though if they can go as fast as they want in a quantum computer, they're still going to be using if-then statements to add weight to the different, they have neural network. It's just fancy programming. Everything is if-then statements. And no matter how you weigh the data, it gets weighed. You would need to make a scale sentient before you could make a computer program sentient. I've spoken for less than 5 minutes, and nobody can argue the points that I've made here. The computer will never think of a random number between 1 and 5. And I argue for consciousness and everything, because despite the fact that we're in a religion of science in this loca, the fact is that time doesn't exist, so all your memories are forever stored as actual events. So you don't need a brain for your consciousness, because your memories are all stored forever as simultaneous events. And that means that a toaster could be conscious, because so a computer does have a consciousness, but it's not in the programming. And I don't want anyone to think that, because I talk about consciousness of other stuff. Anyways, it's been 5 minutes almost, so blessed be. So mode it be. Computer can never be conscious.